Welcome back, folks. Good to see you again. So, my previous channel was taken down due to copyright infringement. I tried to do some commentary on Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 1, and YouTube said no. But I'm back, and I'm here to stay this time. So we're going to be a little bit more careful about this copyright stuff, because apparently YouTube doesn't play around. We're going to have some fun today. We'll do a live reaction to Jake Paul and Deji, maybe? I don't know, he's the younger brother of KSI. KSI boxing match against Logan Paul. Both YouTube stars, way more popular in the UK from what I understand. I actually didn't know anything about this fight until I saw KSI training at the Mayweather boxing gym. I follow their channel very closely. And he was there training with Jeff Mayweather. And I was like, oh man, this must be a hot young prospect, because it had mad views. I mean, like in the millions, you know. And Mayweather channel, they get good views, but they're like 50K. You know, they got like a video of Gervonta Davis sparring or something, and it's like 25, something like that. But yeah, this dude had a ton of buzz around it. So I was like, oh man, yeah, let me see it. And I'm watching him hit the mitts, and I'm like, okay, like he's decent, but it doesn't look like he's on fire or anything. So I kind of looked into it a little bit more, thinking like, you know, what's with this dude? Why is he so popular? And then come to find out, he's a YouTube sensation. Logan Paul, I had vaguely heard of before because of that whole dead body filming thing. For those of you who don't know, he got real famous as being kind of like an internet. He basically is an internet douchebag professionally. People just kind of tune in to hate on him. He's got a big fan base. But he did this real effed up video where he went out in the woods in this forest in Japan, I believe, where people go to die. Like they just wander off and they commit suicide, or they just wander out there to die. It's a very famous, notorious place. And he went out there and he filmed a dead body and was just kind of making fun of the guy. So anyway, that was him. And I don't know how their beef started. It's like some kind of a call out. I think KSI does like, he does music, and he does I think he plays a lot of video games. It was really funny. And then where it really picked up steam and interest for me, I'm cheering for KSI, by the way. I'm not super hating on Logan Paul. I just don't care for him much, but I really like KSI because he was working with a lot of pro fighters leading up to this, and he kind of grew on me, his personality. He's a funny dude, but he was trained at the UFC Center for a little while. Getting some feedback. Hang on one second. He was trained at the UFC Center, and with Forrest Griffin. He had this really funny bit. He was talking to Forrest Griffin, sat down, was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, so you play video games?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, he talked in a British accent, so he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yo, I played the UFC. I beat you at UFC." And so they sat down, had him play a bunch of UFC fighters, and Forrest Griffin was like, "Oh," he's like, "So how, like, what's your go-to?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm all about submissions. I'm a good submission guy." And Forrest Griffin's like, "Whoa, that's the last thing I expected was the boxer to be like, yo, I'm all about the ground game." But it was pretty funny. I'm gonna go ahead and demask myself. I want to turn down the gain on these headphones because I think that's what's giving me the feedback. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all don't want to hear me just yak on. So I'm starting. I'm not really interested in the other fight. I'm kind of shocked they got like a full fight card here. That's pretty impressive. I'm going to start with Deji and Jake Paul, because that obviously the KSI Logan Paul main event is really what I'm tuning in for and bought this pay-per-view for. And by the way, I think this is like the future pay-per-view model in combat sports. I really do think that this fight is going to kind of be the catalyst for the change. Not only because they're generating a shit ton of money in a short amount of time, but it's just a really smart way to do it. And the current pay-per-view model is a big talk in the MMA community. It's just kind of dying off. It's just not really what it was once upon a time. So I'm looking at it. It looks like they're both 21. And anyways, to finish my thought, I think that it's going to all become subscription based. Just kind of like people subscribe. KSI, Logan Paul, they tune in. They have a fan base. I think that's what the UFC will do. Make it a subscription format, and then you buy the pay-per-view still, or like the big fights, but it's a much smaller cost. I mean, this fight, the pay-per-view, already has over 5.5 million views, and it happened barely 24 hours ago. Do the math on that. $10 on top of that, that's an insane amount of money. Like that's Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather money. And I get it, these are like YouTube sensation stars, but still, I think it's just a much more effective way to generate revenue, and people are more willing to tune into that. As fans, I can't really hear what the commentators are saying, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it forward. Actually, let me take it back a little bit. Let's look at this tail of the tape. So Deji, or Deji, somebody will let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong, is the younger brother of KSI. And interestingly enough, Jake Paul is the younger brother of Logan Paul. So it's like a brother thing. Kind of cool. They say brothers should never fight on the same card, because obviously if your brother loses, then that's going to mess you up mentally going into your fight. That's why the Diaz bros don't fight on the same card. In case y'all didn't know that. They're pretty adamant about that. I'm trying to think if there's any. I know there are MMA fighters who've done it before. I believe the Lozon brothers have, and the Miller brothers. I think Dan Miller and Jim Miller fought on the same card, but you know, it's pretty rare. It doesn't happen all the time. So we got Deji, age 21, coming in at 5'10", 174 pounds. Wow, bigger boys than I thought. 70-inch reach. And then we got Jake Paul, 21, 6 foot in height, 189 pounds. How does that work? That's a pretty big weight difference. 74-inch reach. So he's got the reach advantage, the size advantage, height advantage, for whatever that counts in a boxing match. This will make something more rangy, but that kind of goes more with the reach, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to 4:08:41. So we got Jake Paul entering the ring, wearing some kind of a dope-looking mask and a satchel, for whatever that was worth. And his chain says, "Fuck Jake Paul." Yeah, he looks crunk as hell. He's got 2 little kids with him. It's not Swiley, is it? Who are these kids? I don't know. Someone's gonna eat me alive on here. Wait, you don't know who they are? Oh man, he looks pumped, man. That's a sick suit. I like that mask. Boxers have been doing that nowadays. Deontay Wilder comes out with that like Persian style war mask. I dig that. Floyd in his last fight and Adrian Broner come out with the ski mask on. I like that. He said it's a heist when he took McGregor. So I'm getting paid a lot of money for nothing. Just getting handed to me. It's a heist. Heat's one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. If you have not seen Heat, you don't know what you're missing out on. That is like, I rank that right up there with The Godfather, Scarface, all those great epics. Like, man, Heat is like the heist movie, the bank robber movie done right, because you get both aspects. You get the cops with Al Pacino, and then you get Robert De Niro as like the thug criminal guy, but they're playing off each other. Like, man, that movie is so tense. It's so epic. All right, so Jake Paul is like kind of dancing around. I feel like the Paul brothers kind of did take a page out of Conor's book. They do that. They play up that real cocky white boy thing, you know, with all the bling and the chains and over the top shit talking. It's fun though. I dig it. If I had to make a prediction going into this one, knowing nothing about either of them or whatever boxing background they may or may not have, I would go with Jake Paul. He seems more confident. He's got all the physical advantages. It really comes down to the training, but you know what's interesting, and I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but I didn't see any videos of this Deji at the Mayweather boxing gym. Like the thing that I really respected and appreciated about KSI was it looked like he was really grinding, like really putting in his work, like a true pro fighter. I saw several videos of him sparring legit, and there was some big hit. I mean, he was even moving around with guys like Michael Bisping and on the UFC side. And you can just tell by his mitt work, just even seeing from when he took another fight, I think it was against another YouTube sensation guy, and ended up beating him. So he has the title. He's the lineal, I don't know what the YouTube champ or whatever, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's cool that they're doing these things, these fights. It's like when you're in high school, you know, and like the jock is getting in some beef with like the local school badass, and they set up a fight and everybody knows where it is and everybody's texting, hitting each other up on Facebook. Everybody knows about it. It's about to go down. Like I like that. I'm not opposed at all to these celebrities fighting. I know a lot of people think that it's like a black guy in the sport. Alex, let's see him Punk. You got Brock Lesnar and Tyler. That's disrespectful. At the end of the day, we want to see good fights. If you're interested to see it, then tune in. If you don't, then don't. It'll go away. If there was not a demand for it, then it wouldn't be there. I get it. Like the people who do this professionally should be getting paid more, at least as you would think about it on paper. They deserve a higher pay because they put more time into it. But that's not how it works, man. This ain't Office Depot. This isn't some accounting job where, your pay is directly correlated to how many years you put in and how much you got in your retirement. That's not it, man. We're in the business of putting eyeballs on the TV and putting butts in the seats. And whoever does that, kudos to you. Because to be honest with you, I could give a care less about a lot of these prelim fighters nowadays. They're all decent. They do this full time. I would expect them to be. When I go into my job, I'm a professional. And if I underperform, I work in the medical field, respiratory therapist. If I underperform, somebody's life is on the line. Okay, that's just not acceptable. Like you expect a certain level of proficiency. And so like they bring that to the table, but they're boring, man. They're not entertaining at all. I could care less about who they are as a person or watching them fight. They're a wonder bread as far as I'm concerned. They got the same basic style. Like, I've been doing Muay Thai for 3 years and I know all these combos. There's no creativity. This is the thing that separates guys like Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva. It's more than just the personality. That's what puts him in a different stratosphere. But you like a guy like Anderson Silva, like he is an artist when he fights, man. Like you see the creativity that guy puts, the combinations. He does things you never even think of. Remember that back elbow he knocked out Tony Fricklin with? If y'all haven't seen that, you need to go watch it right now. It was the fight that really got him signed to the UFC. It was over in the UK somewhere. I think it was Cage Rage. Tony Fricklin, an established UFC veteran, is fighting Anderson Silva, and he comes in with this it's weird. It's hard to describe. It's got under uppercut elbow and just knocks him straight out. And he saw Ong Bak, the Muay Thai movie, the one that got me into fighting, and a lot of other people out there. So he pulled that, and managed to get a KO with it. I like seeing that. And then like John Jones, who doesn't like John Jones fighting? And say what you will about his personality, that makes it extra fun. How polarizing he is. People they either hate him, or love him based on his outside the cage stuff. But that's neither here nor there when you're actually watching the guy perform. He just does crazy stuff, spinning back elbows, those like flying scissor kicks. I love that stuff, man. I really do. BJ Penn was another really creative guy back in his prime. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm saying, expect a certain level of proficiency. Well, what about CM Punk? He comes in. Yeah, I get it. But that was kind of like, to me, that was an interesting case study. It was like a science project in a way.
was like, how far? Because there's a lot of speculation. You know, Brock Lesnar was really the one guy that came in with zero experience and kind of performed at the top level, but he was such a freak. You know what I mean? Like, you can never tell how much of it was, oh, this guy is that much of a freak, how much it was, oh, the heavyweight division is just that weak, and whatever else. But he actually even had a credential background. But it was like the CM Punk thing was interesting because it was like, what happens if we take a totally generic white bread template dude close to his 40s and see how far hard work can take you at this elite level. Super misguided, hyper arrogant. I'm not saying I admire anything the guy did or I'm a fan of it, but you know, I wasn't completely opposed to the fight just because I thought it was a fascinating concept. And I mean, he fought a young upcoming contender, and you know, they say this is a young man's sport, and yeah, that sure showed. And then even in the other fight, I can't remember the guy's name, Mike something, the reporter dude or photographer, I can't remember what, just beat the hell out of him. You know, he was just better. He was like the same person, but just been doing it longer, had more experience. I mean, yeah, that's what happens. And that was a terrible fight. That was a waste of pay-per-view spot. But hey, now we know, right? It was a good time. I'll watch Punk fight again, depending on who it was against. I think it'd be kind of funny to watch him fight, like on the Contender Series or something. All right. So, anyways, the fight's about to start. Now, I need to be really careful about this copyright infringement because I don't want my account to get pulled again. That kind of sucked. But they do send you like little warnings at the top. So, if that happens, I'll go ahead and I'll pull it down. I'm going to kick some audio in, so hopefully we can kind of hear the commentary, hear the punches land in. That's the best part. You know, I do feel like being live at fights is an overrated experience. I would much prefer to watch it from the comfort of my TV in my home. But, you know, it is kind of fun being there live. Like, especially if you like cage side. I've been cage side for UFC events and a bunch of amateur shows. Hearing, like, you people do not understand how hard professional fighters hit. And so you were live right there, unless you, of course, if you train and you've experienced it firsthand. Yeah, then you definitely know. But when you are there and you hear the slams are what gets me. Just the way the canvas rattles. You just feel it in your bones and the thud. What's that part of Fight Club? Fight's about to start. This is a good stare down. Part of Fight Club where they're fighting in the basement. That first scene, he's like, Edward Norton's narrating. And he was like, it's like a Pentecostal church. He's like, instead of speaking in tongues, they're blah, 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 blah. And all you hear is like the wet smack of flesh on bone and hitting the pavement. It's surreal, man. Okay, I'm picking it up through my headphones a little bit so I can hear this. Here they go. I can tell immediately Jake Paul looks like he's got a better idea of what he's doing. His stance, his guard, they both look really tight. Deji looks super nervous. Oh, he is getting cracked. Jake Paul is unloading. He's just covering. Deji's just covering. Oh, he's throwing bad punches. They're real wide. Oh, he's aggressive though, but that can be a sign of fear too, not necessarily competence. Oh snap! He's getting wild. He's loose. Yo, Snapchat, we're live. Watching KSI, Jake Paul. All right. Jake Paul's got a good jab. He looks really loose. I feel like he's more prepared going into this one. He looks like he's done more sparring. He's got better ring time, or maybe he just handles pressure better. He's not in front of being in a crowd. He's not afraid of being in front of a crowd. That's for sure. Yeah, Deji looks very out of his element. He's closing his eyes every time he gets hit. He's throwing real wide. Okay, they clinch up against the rope. The referee separates them. Here they go. Somebody may be bleeding. It's Jake Paul. He's bleeding from his nose. You can see some blood on his pec. Oh, stiff jab by Deji lands. He's dropping that right hand every single time he throws the jab, though. He's doing this, that reach. That's real common for amateurs. Oh, man. Jake Paul with a wicked right to the body. Dug it right in that solar plexus. So he's doing a good job of cutting Deji off every time he's trying to circle out, get him up against the fence. He's breathing heavy, though. It looks like his nose maybe broke. It's leaking bad. Okay, jab. Jake Paul, better head movement than Deji, but that's not saying much. This is definitely looking like an amateur fight. But that's a fun thing. Amateur fights are really fun. The technique out the window, just bomb on each other. This is fascinating. Okay, so the first round's over. I would definitely have to give that one to Jake Paul. He controlled the center of the ring a lot better. And I feel like he was just throwing the more effective shots in general. But he got busted up pretty bad. His nose was leaking. He's breathing pretty heavy. I don't think that is because he is out of breath. I think that it's because his nose got cracked. So we'll see how he does this next round.
Throwing more effective shots in general, but
interesting. I don't know who that is in Jake Paul's corner. I'm curious to see who's in Deji's. I don't recognize either. One of them might be from the Mayweather team. I can't get a good look at the guy's face, but he looks like one of the main coaches there. Deji looks a lot more calm. He's breathing well. He's got Tank on all the shirts. I wonder if that's a sponsor. Is that his nickname? He doesn't look like a tank. He's a little soft in the midsection. His brother looks way more athletic than him. Oh, Jake Paul landing a really good jab that just snapped Deji's head back. Oh, Deji's quick, though. There he goes. He's finding a home for that jab because Jake Paul's got his right hand, his power hand, all the way down here. He's not keeping it tucked up by the chin like he was in the first round. It could be because of the nose. Oh, now they're getting wild. They're opening up. Deji's looking like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He's got more of a Muay Thai fighter stance. He's kind of wide. He's throwing a lot of power hooks. He's getting teed off on straight up the middle. Jake Paul. He's finding a home for that. Man. Straight right lands hard by Jake Paul. Popping him with the jab. Okay. So Jake Paul has definitely got the more polished technique. He's way more crisp, way more technical as far as how you're supposed to throw your punches. But Deji's doing a really good job hanging in there. He's making it wild, making it aggressive. He tends to come in, and if he can get past the jab, he starts winging some wild hooks. And they're landing, and they're doing damage because Jake Paul's nose is a mess right now. It is leaking. It is dripping all over the place. Bad choice for Jake to wear white. It's about to turn pink with all this blood. Good uppercuts, good uppercuts. Deji hits him on the exit. That's illegal. Referee's giving him a warning. He didn't take a point away. So the referee stepped in to separate them on a clinch exchange, and Deji just drilled him right in the face. You can't do that. When the referee gets in between you, you can't throw. If you hit the referee, then you're in big trouble. He's definitely going to take a point away. If not, give you a DQ. It's a pretty entertaining fight. Round 2 of 6. It's a 6-round fight. Deji's looking tired. His hands are way lower. Oh, wow. Whipping left hook lands for Jake Paul. Yeah, if they didn't have headgear on, that might have rocked him. Deji's doing like a wind-up kind of. It looks like he's going for like a bolo punch kind of thing. Oh, straight right to the body. Good. Oh, left hook. He's staggered. Deji's wobbled. He got hit with a left hook right on the jaw. He's doing the funky chicken dance. He's in there, though. He's in there. He's clinching. Survived the round. Okay. We're going to 3. The end of that round looked kind of rocky for him. I'll give it. I got Jake Paul 2 rounds up right now. 2 rounds to none for Deji. Deji's hanging in there. He's tough. I wonder if these guys, either of them, is interested in pursuing a professional boxing career. They're the right age, not the right experience, though. Digging right hook to the body. Jake Paul, they probably got too much other stuff going on. Why would you get punched in the face for a living when you can make a video and make 4 times as much money? Yeah, that was a stupid comment. They definitely not going to do that. But it'd be fun to see him make a professional career. I don't know, fighting other YouTube guys. As long as it's interesting. That'd be kind of cool to see an MMA fight, right? Just set something up in the UFC or like Bellator. All right. Break is ending. Jake Paul looks fresh. He's up on his feet. Does you a little slow getting off the stool. Here they go. They're in the center of the cage. The round's starting. Good double jab by Jake Paul lands. Good straight right lands for him. Deji's trying to adjust his headgear and he gets tagged with a left hook. Deji way more aggressive this round. It's interesting. He's trying to back Jake up. Oh, he just got countered. He threw a left hook and got countered with a left hook. Jake Paul landing some hard, stiff jabs. Good body shot. He's doing a 1-2. He'll throw out the jab and then just whip right to the body. He's finding a home for it every time. Those add up, especially in the later rounds. Deji's fast. He's got good technique, but he doesn't have quite enough reach. He's just coming up just a little too short on those left hooks. Both fighters visibly tired, wearing down a little bit. Jake Paul is just sticking behind that jab. He's not throwing a whole lot besides it. Just the jab, and when the opening's there, that body shot. He did something clever there. He just threw a straight right, no setup, landed. Deji's kind of giving it to him. Deji running forward with his chin up. That's not good. I think that's going to end very poorly for him. Oh, man. Double jab lands for Jake Paul. Deji's got him on the turnbuckle. Landed a good straight right. 1 minute left in the 3rd round. Deji coming forward. He's doing that thing again. He's running forward with this chin up. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. He's taking big breaths. He looks very, very tired. Jake looks tired too, but he's definitely got more fuel in the tank. You can tell. He's also, his output's been a lot less than Deji's. That'll burn you out real quick trying to do that sprinting. Double jab by Jake Paul. They clinch. Referee is separating them. Deji looks done, man. I don't think this fight's going to go much longer. They're going to get out of the third, though, because there's only 10 seconds left in the round. Whoa! Deji with a real wide right hook that lands. This was more like a haymaker. Throwing everything into those shots. He looks very demoralized. He's walking slow, sitting in the corner. I'm not liking Deji's stature right now, his body language. Looks like they got that bleeding under control. Jake Paul's nose. It was looking rough there. But right now, it looks like it's stopped or at least slowed significantly for the moment. Corners look very worked up. With some good advice, hopefully. Who knows? Just an amateur fight. Don't worry about it. There's only 5 million people watching it the first day. It's not like that won't humiliate you the rest of your life. You get knocked out. All right. They are on their feet. Now, I have not looked at the results for these fights going into this, but I feel strongly that the fight is going to end in this round or the next. Deji coming out strong. He's doing that again, chin way up. And the problem with that, too, is he's throwing his punches low. Straight, like you should, but not fired up. Every single time you throw a punch, you need to have your shoulder tucked to your chin so it's always protected. Ideally, you want to have one hand here on this side, and at least your shoulder on this side. You want to punch like this, not like this, and definitely not like this. You see a lot of that in World Star Hip Hop, like street fights. That's a good way to catch an L, man. Oh, yeah, Jake Paul's got Deji on the ropes, hitting him with some hard shots. Straight rights and haymakers. Popped him with a quick. Oh! Caught him with the left hook as he was coming in. He's running in like this to throw a punch from under here and then just getting straight shot into the jaw. Again. The Paul. Well, let me just speak for this one. This Paul brother, Jake, he must have had a pretty good coach because he's doing some nice combos, especially for amateur, like things that they teach you at the beginning, but like smart stuff. He's really switching it up. I like how he's going to the body and then comes upstairs. And I like how that he's working that jab effectively before he throws anything behind it. Deji's not really setting anything up. He's just kind of moving forward and trying to, throw really hard and just connect through sheer willpower. And it's actually moderately effective for him. Jake Paul was better at covering up and using head movement than that strategy would not be working at all for him. But he's kind of getting away with it a little bit. Kid's got a chin, man. He's taking hard shots and still pressing forward. Valiant effort by both. Oh, Deji looks very hurt. Yep, he just got hit to the body. He's covering up. Oh, no. Jake Paul's got him on the ropes and is just opening up on him hard. Referee separating him. Deji got the clinch. Tied him up really good. tying your opponent up is where you trap their arms, so you can't move. And in boxing, the referee just comes and separates you, so that's effective. You know, obviously in MMA, somebody will just fight for the underhook and get a throw, a trip. You risk a takedown, and the referee's not going to separate you for a clinch. But in boxing, it's a really good strategy, especially if somebody's just bombing on you and moving forward. So especially when you're tired, you see a lot of that. I remember I never used to like watching boxing when I was like 6 years old, unless it was Mike Tyson just murking someone in the first round. Because when I watch it with my grandpa, I would go, "Grandpa, why are they just hugging each other? Yeah, they're just hugging each other. Why are they doing that?" He's like, "Oh, they're tired." I'm like, "I don't care. They shouldn't get tired, because when you can't lift your arms up and somebody's throwing at you, the best strategy you can do in boxing is just wrap them up. Give them that hug and just hold on until the referee separates you, and you get that distance and start moving around again." R&B. I wonder what that stands for. All right, so they made it out of the fourth round. Deji barely made it out of the fourth round. He threw a kick. That was weird. On the exit of one of the clinches, he like threw like this little side kick. It was cute. Yeah, he's getting hammered on the ropes. Summary of that round is Jake Paul pushing forward with the jab, popping a body shot, and then as soon as he's on the ropes, he's moving in and beating up that body, getting that body work, Triple G style, Gennady. Deji's coach is looking tense. They're giving him that pep talk, man. They're in his ear, yelling. I don't think they're telling him, "You're doing great. You're doing awesome. Keep it up, man. You got this." Looks like they're saying something else. "Wake your ass up. You want to win this fight or not, motherfucker? You trying to knock you out." Fifth round has started. Deji landed a really good left hook right to the temple of Jake Paul. Looked like it hurt him, but I guess it just shifted his headgear. He adjusted. He's connecting really well with that jab. Uppercut lands for Deji. Oh, these are some good exchanges. It's very back and forth right now. They said, "Fuck it. We don't need defense. Let's just throw. Let's just bang, bro. Let me bang, bro." If y'all haven't seen that video, check it out. It's hilarious. Right uppercut lands for Jake Paul. He's got Deji hurt. Deji's in the turnbuckle, taking blows. Referee stopped the fight. That's it. Jake Paul, fifth round, TKO KO. Let's see if I can get a replay on the hell. You gotta watch me pull from YouTube. I don't want that. But I'm waiting for the replay. I got you guys. I got you. Hang on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, come on now. Oh, good sportsmanship. I like to see that. There was a lot of trash talk. Jake Paul's corner lifting up. No, I guess it is Deji's corner. That's kind of weird. Why would they lift him up on their shoulders? He just lost. Okay. In any case. Come on, man. Where's the replay? Jake Paul making out with his girlfriend right in the middle of the ring. It's a boss move. She's a keeper, apparently. Unwrapping the gloves. Still waiting on this replay. I guess people do kind of want to see the reaction, you know, post fight and how they do that. Man, I look shot out. I need to get more sleep. It's my work weekend, by the way. Work overnights, 12-hour shifts. It's brutal. I'm gonna set this bad boy down until something actually happens. The replay. Wow. That was a good fight. It was better than I thought it would be. Now I'm really stoked for KSI and Logan Paul. It's going to be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Oh, they do have a belt. I wonder what weight class this was contested at, because they both had different weights. It was kind of weird. Pretty significantly different weights too. That is pretty common in like amateur fighting though. They often, you have kind of like catch weights where it's like, hey, we're gonna fight at 155, but when homeboy shows up, he's like 10 pounds overweight, and you're not getting paid. I'm saying, okay, we're just gonna call the fight off, or we're actually gonna do this thing. So often, I had a buddy take a fight with a guy. And a lot of times your opponents will back out last minute too. They get scared, like, oh man, I thought I wanted to do this. What was I thinking? And then you'll have a replacement opponent. I had a buddy who was fighting at welterweight. Okay. That's 170 pounds. Fought a light heavyweight. That's 205 pounds on it the day of, because his dude didn't show up to weigh in. And that was the only guy that would take the fight, was a 200 pounder. Oh, congratulations, Jake Paul. Let's see if we can get this replay to freaking get around with it. I mean, it wasn't anything super spectacular. You could kind of see the writing on the wall. Deji was just covering it up. He got cracked with a good left hook, you know, out of it, doing the drunk man dance, and then he just kind of covered up in the turnbuckle. Okay, the turnbuckle is the intersection of the ring, the actual corner where it meets the 90-degree angle, and that's a place you don't want to be stuck, especially when you're tired. He just covered up, and Jake Paul did a good job. He was doing body work, and then came upstairs, and it may have been a verbal tap out. I don't know. The referee jumped in the middle of it, but it looked like Deji was turning away as the referee was coming in, so he might have called it off. Just said, "Hey, I'm done." He looked very tired. Conditioning was definitely a factor. Kudos to Jake Paul. He did the damn thing. Got it done. All right. Well, for the sake of time, I'm not going to trip too much about the showing the replay, because I'm sure you guys can find a highlight video later. But I'm going to get on my way to the main event, because I don't really care about. All right, here we go. We out here. Logan, sorry. It's confusing. Logan Paul coming out. He's got a cool mask on too. He's got like a Bane mask. Forget about it. I'll just give you a taste. super dope. He's walking out. Looking like a thug. This would be so much fun, man. He's coming out. Slow walk-in. Walkouts and fighting are so interesting because they're either super entertaining, get you super like just pumped up, stoked for the fight, or they're just really stupid and you're like, damn, come on, speed up, man. Get on with the damn thing. I always appreciated Frankie Edgar because he would just sprint to the ring, but I hated every Michael Bisping walkout ever. He played that stupid music, and Mirko Cro Cop, like one of the most badasses to ever walk the planet, and he came out to like some old school country song. It was just cringeworthy to watch. But personally, my favorite walkouts of all time, probably in this order. Randy Couture, when he came out of retirement to fight Tim Sylvia, and nobody thought he would win, including me. I thought he was walking to his grave, literally. I thought Tim Sylvia was going to knock him out. Randy Couture, 42 years old, just came off 2 KO losses. Okay, 42. Do you realize how ridiculous that is to be fighting at that age? Like, that's insane. It was an old man at a young man's sport, fighting a 28-year-old Tim Sylvia, who was 6'8", and had like something insane, like a 79-inch reach advantage, or a 79-inch reach. He definitely had the reach advantage in the fight, and was literally murking everyone he fought, just knocking out everybody. And Randy Couture had historically struggled with bigger fighters, so he comes in undersized as a light heavyweight, coming off 2 KO losses, and 42 years old. And when the lights went dark, everything dimmed. And then Aerosmith came. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. And then the lights come up, and you see Randy Couture standing there. He's got this smile on his face, like, I missed this so bad. I'm literally risking brain cell death, CTE, concussions to be here. And then he just goes out there, and the first punch of the fight, he throws this inside kick and overhand right, knocks down this tree of a man, 6'8" Tim Sylvia, and then just proceeds to beat his ass for 25 minutes straight, like that. I got chills just thinking about it. Like that was one of the most badass, die-hard moments, not just in MMA, but combat sports history. I mean, that's just legendary. I was so happy that I like witnessed that happen. I was in the basement. We had thrown a party, had a bunch of friends over. My parents were even watching it because they were big UFC fans at the time. This was in high school, and they were like, "We're all what?" Just like blown away. It was awesome. Man, I'll never forget that. That one, Mike Tyson coming out to the DMX intro. I can't remember who he fought. I don't even remember the dude's name. I believe it was when Freddie Roach was cornering him. I don't know, but it's like the intro. Let me pull up my phone real quick. I'm just getting pulled down just because it's so dope. And the commentator, like it's the music is so intimidating that the commentators were talking about it.
You know what I'm saying? These Rough Rider niggas.
There we go.
Done now. Just don't listen.
Mike Tyson had his cut off hoodie, just his arms out there, and he used to wear those gladiator shorts. And he's always so calm. Like he's just like got that stoic look on his face. He comes walking out, the commentator's like, Mike Tyson with some intimidating music walking to the entrance of the ring, trying to scare his opponent. Yeah. That was a good one. And then, of course, my all-time favorite, probably a lot of you out there's all-time favorite, if I had to guess. Nothing ever. Oh, okay, we got to get this. KSI coming out with a dope mask. The masks seem to be the theme with the walkout. KSI looking ripped, man. Wow. He's in phenomenal shape. Oh, this is going to be good. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. My favorite walkout of all time. So classic, so iconic. Like, you can't have conversations about walkouts, walkout music, entrances, without talking about this. DMX again. DMX, there's something about that dude's walkout music. And y'all already know what I'm going to say before I even get to it, because I'm going to play it for you. But how many of you got chills in your bone every single time Anderson Silva will walk out to this?
It's dark and hell is hot. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Cause when it's on, you niggas wanna be gone every time. Cause we don't play. Who turn out the lights is what niggas be saying. Now you don't wanna fight, but y'all niggas be playing. Thinking it's alright, you playing with that pro. And you gon' know tonight. The blind in the dark man. Oh, now who ain't so niggas stop call every day. I don't just and I know we gon' play. Only dark.
Well, I kind of messed that up because I couldn't get to the chorus, but it's so classic. Anderson Silva, right before he got, I think the first time he walked out to that song was right before he knocked out Vitor Belfort with that crazy front kick, just straight to the jaw. Dropping dead. Good times, man. All right. They're announcing the fighters right now. The fight is about to begin. They both, man, they look chiseled. They are ripped. For non-professional athletes, man, they sure could have fooled me. KSI always, when I first saw him, especially, looked a little soft in the midsection, but he looks very defined. He's got a six-pack. He's got a pronounced chest. And Jake Paul has always been ridiculously ripped. So, interesting thing about these guys coming in, since they're not professional fighters, there's not a lot to look on. You can't make like a real strong judgment or prediction going into this fight because there's not a body of work to judge it off of. So, I mean, really, all you got to go off of the sparring videos, the one fight KSI had, and whenever they're hitting mitts. But what was impressive is Logan Paul. Man, I'm gonna do that in this whole video. Has a sparring video where he drops this guy, this big old dude, and a lot of people go, he did something, beat up with nobody. Anybody can do that in sparring. It's just sparring. Right. But you're missing the point. If that's all you're looking at, like that is a valid point. But the way he threw the combo and everything from the body mechanics, the way it looked, it was really impressive for just an amateur. And I get that was just one clip. KSI looking intense in the stare down. He did this kind of thing. Putting his headgear on. So yeah, I'm really on the fence. Logan Paul is a slight favorite going into this. From what I gather, basically just because he appears to be the more athletic and stronger person. But on paper, KSI actually has a fight. I mean, that's something. So it's going to be interesting to see how competitive this is. Pulling for KSI. He does look undersized, though. Man, Logan Paul is a big dude. Oh, hell yeah. It's about to go down. Does it say knowledge? He does have knowledge tattooed on his chest. That's weird. I'm going to get a better look at that. That can't be right. This is a good stare down. KSI blowing him kisses, sticking his tongue out. Logan Paul just looking very intense, non-reactory. Ooh. Damn, that's crazy. All right. Here they go. Here they go. Referee's about to start the fight. And here they go. No touch of gloves. Crisp jab by Logan Paul. Hard left hook. Man, these guys are quick. Logan Paul, excellent hand positioning. Textbook jab. Throwing the jab a lot. KSI kind of just feeling him out. KSI coming in with the jab. Is he? No, they're both in an orthodox stance. KSI with a good jab. He is dropping his right hand, though. Good head movement by KSI. Wow. He just avoided about 3 jabs. Just real quick. Slip. All right. KSI with a high guard. He's coming up here. Homie style. Excellent head movement. Quick left jab lands for KSI. Ooh. Logan Paul with a straight right. Flush on the chin. Another one. He's popping him now. Logan Paul landing more. But KSI, excellent defense. Excellent defense. He's blocking every shot, and he's slipping a lot of the jabs. That's good. It's a very good sign for him. Their experience, well, his experience, I don't know about Logan Paul. He looks like he's been fighting for a while, but I didn't find anything about him having a prior fight. KSI, obviously his experience showing a lot more than the younger brothers. You can definitely tell he's put his time in. Really good head movement. He's still slipping those jabs. He leans back at the waist. I mean, that's something you can get away with in boxing, and not real effective for MMA. I would love to see these guys fight MMA. That'd be so much fun. So they had a rematch rescheduled already on paper. I can't remember for what time, but it's like later this year, I believe, or like January maybe. And I kind of wonder if they're going to do an MMA fight afterwards, especially if it's a split. Like whoever wins this, like let's say KSI wins this one, Logan Paul wins the other. Logan Paul taunting KSI right now, dropping his hands, sticking his tongue out, making little faces. Ooh, KSI not having it. Oh, man. Logan Paul is landing on command. Right hands, left hands. Just straight right, straight left. Just running right down the pipe and landing hard. KSI with the chin. No blood. No superficial damage done. I got to give the first round to Logan Paul, just for those exchanges at the end. There wasn't much happening in the round before that. KSI looked to be more feeling it out. But I'm really impressed with his defense. He covers up well. Until the end of the round, I didn't really see him take a lot of damage. And even then, he just kind of shrugged it off. It didn't seem to affect him very much. So let's see. It's going to be intense. That's kind of weird. They got a spray bottle in the corner, and they just had him open his mouth and spray it in there. But they have a water bottle right next to it. You just give him the water bottle. Oh, well. Whatever. I want to water the plants instead. I can't remember what KSI's real name is. I wonder where he's from. Originally. Or where his heritage is from. Ooh, KSI with a good combination. Doubled up on the jab and then came over with a right hand that landed hard. Slick moves. Ooh, KSI getting sloppy. I don't like that. He came in with one of those like mummy punches. Fighting like a coked out Muppet. You don't want that. Oh, sick right hand for KSI. KSI getting aggressive. He is landing hard. Hard shots. Looks to be very invigorated this round. Trying to get some payback. Get one for the little bro. We don't take double L's in this family. All right, jab from Logan Paul. With a jab. Oh, pretty hard right counter lands for Logan Paul. KSI got a little overzealous. He came in with the three-piece, and Logan Paul wrapped around, hit him with the left hook. Oh, my alarm's going off. Oh, yeah, I do. I got a call I got to make in 15 minutes, so hopefully they end this fight. Logan Paul landing with a 1-2, lands another nice jab. KSI getting a little wild, winging the punches there. It's a fairly close round. I'm going to give the edge to KSI so far. Oh, lands a snapping left jab. KSI has got one whip of a right hook. Sorry, more like an overhand. He likes to throw that jab and then just comes over the top. Chuck Liddell style. We got 39 seconds left in the second round. It's pretty competitive. I'm giving a slight edge to KSI. KSI with another hard jab. Oh, man. Straight right with no setup. Landed flush right on the temple of Logan Paul. Logan Paul, very arrogant. Hands all the way down at his sides. Showing a lot better head movement this round. Oh, late shot by KSI. Hit Logan Paul after the round. The coach storms the ring. Trying to run up on KSI. Wow. That was intense. That was a really close round. I'm going to give it to KSI, though. I think he had a slight – I think he landed more. I think he landed the harder shots. Logan Paul had some good ones in there. And his defense was a lot better, but KSI hooking him off the jab and really finding a home for that overhand right. He was really swinging for the knockout, man. I almost put this dude to sleep. Dang.
Yeah, you look like Mark Wahlberg. You look like Mark Wahlberg in there. You know that? You ever watch those movies? Mark Wahlberg. He's a tough guy. Yeah. I think you could take him.
Imagine that. We just start getting like actors and famous celebrities to start fighting. Mark Wahlberg versus Kanye West. 50 Cent fighting Brad Pitt. I don't want it to get to that level. But, hey. Celebrity boxing, was that in the 70s? Was that interesting? Interesting little gimmick. Celebrity MMA would be kind of fun. KSI winging bombs, not really landing, but he's got Logan Paul backing up. Logan Paul looks like he might be gassing out right about now. We're at 2-11 in the third round. Good exchanges. This is just turning into a straight up brawl right now. Rock'em sock'em robots. They're just winging on each other. If they keep up that pace, somebody's going to sleep. This would be so much funner to see it without the headgear. Not that headgear really does that much. That's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a misguided idea. But it does factor in, especially when it comes to cuts. But it doesn't make that much of a difference. It's like a real knockout blow. But where I think it makes the biggest difference is it pads the side of the chin. And that, you know, when you see like, there's some fights you watch and somebody just throws like a dinky little punch, but it catches the guy right on the chin and just knocks him to sleep. And you're like, what was that? It didn't look like nothing. It's more about shot placement. I feel like the headgear does factor into flash knockouts. You see a lot less of them when guys are wearing the headgear. KSI getting real aggressive. He's got an angry look on his face. He's like, come on, let's do this. Really connecting. Logan Paul hanging in there, though. Logan Paul breathing real heavy. Very, very heavy. Oh, KSI just threw a punch all the way from Australia and missed. Those will tire you out more than anything. The punches that miss are the ones that exhaust you. They really are. That's why I'm a big proponent of the body shot. You got such a higher percentage of actually connecting with it instead of just going for the knockout upstairs, and it pays dividends later on down the fight. And I feel like it sets up the body shots. Wow, Logan Paul with almost a MMA style takedown. You're like hooked low behind KSI's knee, brought him down by the turnbuckles. Referees resetting the fight. He might be taking a point right now. Wow. Logan Paul very tired. Just put his hands on his knees blatantly, taking deep breaths. All right, they're resuming the action. Oh. Logan Paul leading with a left hook. KSI slips it and then comes over the top, connecting two really hard overhand rights. Round just ended. I got to give that one to KSI. Probably landing the harder shots. He's going to wear himself out, though, if he keeps winging for those knockouts. He looks very tired right now. Corner still, they're just holding his water bottle and spraying the spray bottle into his mouth. That's hilarious. There he goes. Oh, man, these are really good highlights. Was that takedown I was talking about? I missed this part. Sorry, guys. Some really good action that round. This is fun, man. These guys are really going for it. You know, a lot of times when you get these overhyped fights where people are talking a bunch of crap, the fight doesn't live up because neither guy wants to commit. They're so afraid of losing. You just kind of get one of these where you're going to throw, you're going to throw. I'm not going to get knocked out. Staring each other down the whole entire time. But this is actually pretty entertaining, especially for amateurs. I keep saying that like it's a bad thing. Amateur fights are actually really fun. If you guys have never been to a local show, you should go to local fights, man. They're really fun. Oh, man, this round is starting off good. Just a straight up brawl. Both just drop their hands and are just winging bombs. Excellent fight. I did not expect this. To be honest with you, I thought this was going to be a pretty lame fight. Pretty cheesy. Not much action. This is great. You can tell these guys really can't stand each other. They want the KO. They can't stand the thought of being KO'd by the other. Logan Paul just muscling KSI up against the ropes. Wow. Just put his forearm right in his face and pushed him over. It looked like he was about to fall out of the ring. They resume the action. Winging bombs on each other. I can show you guys this. See if I can get away with this. Of course, they're not going to exchange when I actually put the camera on it. I'll wait until they start winging bombs. I'll just wait till the highlights at the end of that round. Logan Paul connecting. Man, more good exchanges, of course, right when I take the camera off the TV. Oh, man. KSI going for the KO. It's kind of funny. He's just using his right hand, really. He like posts up with the left and then just starts bombing with the right. Logan Paul, excellent head movement. He's starting to slip some of those. He's really making KSI pay. He's landing some beautiful counters. That's some high-level stuff. So the difference between striking arts as opposed to grappling is grappling. It's more about learning the techniques, the positions, the arm bars, the submissions, positional dominance, how to get a takedown, top control, stuff like that. And it's really kind of a knowledge game. But the thing about striking is it's so much more about reflexes and instinct. That's why you drill combos so much so that you don't even have to think about it. You throw it when you're in the fight, but that takes a lot longer to develop, that natural, and it takes a lot of cage time, which is why hard sparring and boxing is so much more prevalent than it is like Muay Thai or any of these others where you got more weapons, you can kind of sit back, because in boxing, it's all about how quick you are with your hands and your head, and you really got to get that ring time in. And it looks, both these guys, I'm super impressed. It looks like they've really done their homework. They put in the hard work. They know what they're doing. They know how to react. They're not doing, it looks like they're beyond like the instinctual kind of amateur mistakes that a lot of people make as far as covering up, backpedaling, closing their eyes. A lot more proficient than their brothers. Look at this, man. They're just going at it. Wow. Damn, this is good. Super entertaining fight. Good one so far. All right. Round 5, rock and rolling. KSI slipping a lot of jabs. I gave that last round to Logan Paul, by the way. I've got it 2-2 right now. I gave Logan Paul the first. KSI 2 and 3. I felt like he was more active, landing the harder shots. I thought the second round was the closest so far. That last round was pretty close too. Logan Paul really kind of bullying KSI that round, though. He really walked him down, and he was more effective with his counter shots. Anytime KSI was getting wild, Logan Paul was making him miss and then making him pay. That matters. KSI with some good head movement. His hands are all the way down, though. He looks exhausted. Still throwing some haymakers. He just threw a really big right hand that landed on Logan Paul. Man, both these guys got one hell of a chin. Logan Paul getting a little lippy with the referee. Referee made a call he didn't like, separated him on the ropes. Looks like Logan Paul feels a little salty about it. Not smart to get into it with the referee, though. How fight you want? They're supposed to be professional. You want to give them a reason, man. Don't give them a reason to not be fair. Referees separating them. They're clenching a lot now. Getting real close. They're getting very tired, you can tell. Logan Paul is fearless. He just hangs in the pocket. He'll eat some shots just to give one. Whoa! KSI! Sick head movement. He slipped about 5 punches in a row, just bobbing and weaving like Roy Jones Jr. in his prime. That was beautiful. He ate some on the way out, though. Separate. Here they go again. Logan Paul pushing him off. Just kind of staring each other down now. Getting wild. Getting rough and wild in these exchanges. Winging some bombs. Looking more like Rock'em Sock'em robots than some finessed world champion trained boxers. Freddie Roach would not be happy, neither would Roger Mayweather. But they'd be entertained. Yeah, their eyes would be glued to the screen, I guarantee you that. This is a tough round to score. Oh! KSI may have hurt Logan Paul at the end of the round there. He hit him with a hard shot. Heavy blow. Right to the temple. And it looked like, to me, it staggered him. Logan Paul tough, though. I'm going to go ahead and give that to KSI just because of the damage at the end of the round. So we got KSI up 3-2. It's close, though. Why do they make these 6 rounds? Why do they make it even rounds? They should make it odd, right? In case you run into a draw. One hell of a fight, though, man. It's close, though. Oh, final round. Man, this is a good fight. This is so worth it. Just $10. 6th and final round starting. They're coming out heavy. Both just throwing haymakers. They are ducking the head. They're throwing caution to the wind. Oh, KSI landing the harder shots, though, for sure. Logan Paul hanging in there tough. He just got thrown against the ropes. He is sitting on the ropes resting. Taking big, deep breaths. Oh, hard, stiff jab lands for KSI. Oh, man, this is crazy. Nice. Good slip. Logan Paul with the clinch. He's about to throw KSI around. They're getting wild. Clenched up against the ropes. Logan Paul bullying him into the turnbuckle. All right, the referee's going to go ahead and separate him. Zoom in the action. Back in the center. 2 hard rights land in a row for KSI. Logan Paul's nose is bleeding now. It's not gushing like his brother's was. Oh, they are just swinging wide haymakers now. KSI really going for the knockout. He's just opening up, landing bombs at will. Logan Paul doing a great job covering up, though. I like his defense. He's very tight. He knows when to throw up, and he looks for the opening to fire his shots back. He's landing some decent counters here, but he looks very tired. He's not steady on his feet. He's getting thrown around. He's clinching up. He's got KSI against the ropes. Oh, this is an interesting fight, man. Wow. KSI still throwing bombs, man. Look at the cardio on this kid. Logan Paul, too, you can tell he's completely winded. He's muscling KSI around now. Got him up against the ropes. Eat some hard shots. He has got such a chin. Holy crap. Oh, Jesus. Shite. Okay, Logan Paul just eating shots now, but it doesn't even seem to faze him. He's just coming forward like the Terminator. Not really throwing punches, but just pushing KSI around and clinching him up against the ropes. And that's the end of the fight. I got to give that to KSI. I got it 4 rounds to 2. KSI, very close competitive fight. A couple of the rounds I wouldn't besmirch anybody for giving it Logan Paul's way, but I got a 4-2. I had Logan Paul winning the first round, KSI rounds 2 and 3, although 2 was extremely close. I could easily see that going to Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul round 4, and then 5 and 6 I think were KSI. 6th round pretty dominantly. That's Bojack. Bojack is in KSI's corner. That is dope. He's a hot prospect in boxing right now. He trains out of the money team, Mayweather Gym. Wow. Excellent fight. I'm impressed. These guys actually took it seriously. They came in there, they put on a show. That was so much better than the younger brother fight, too. Man. We're just dancing around the ring right now. A mad mob in there. In the corner. See if we can get a little bit of sportsmanship. People shake hands. Probably after they declare a winner. Doesn't look like they're really interested right now. Like KSI is probably still pretty pissed about his brother taking that L too. There's Deji right there giving him a hug. Actually in the ring right now. It's pretty cool. You really take a lot of damage. You just kind of got tired and then TKO referees said, nah, he's had enough. Somebody's going to get hurt. This goes on much longer. Wow, that was a great fight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody's chatting with me. Oh, shoot. I can't chat back. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, Connor. Oh, no, I can't. How cool would that be if it was Conor McGregor? All right. Come on, folks. The suspense is killing me. I don't want the damn fight. So waiting for the decision. Oh, Deji and Logan Paul meeting. Shaking hands, looking very friendly. It's cool to see. Kind of burying the hatchet a little bit. Yeah, I know my brother just whooped your ass, but you all right, man. You all right. Always awkward. I've never been in that situation, but I would like to think that I would do the gentlemanly thing. That's what a samurai would do, right? The warrior spirit. Which is interesting, because the Spartans are kind of the opposite way. They're kind of like, nah, you're the enemy. Fuck you. No. You die for all I care. It's taking them a long time to come up with this decision. That was a tough. I wonder if they got to be the judges. That'd be some bullshit if it was a draw, like Gennady Golovkin and Canelo. I wouldn't be too mad at this one though, because I would have given Logan Paul that second round. But the Golovkin one was just ridiculous. Like, come on, man, what was that? That was a setup from the beginning. Everybody knows. And they had Adelaide Bird on there. Are you kidding me? How she even still has a job? It's so corrupt. Boxing is more corrupt than most of the combat. I mean, they've got their issues, but boxing's pretty dirty. It's pretty bad. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Decision time. Oh, can we get a drum roll? Okay. They are really taking their time with all this. And the scorecards. Sorry, I keep holding the camera crooked. Suspense is killing me. We'll juice some of the volume.
6 straight rounds of boxing. The Nightmare KSI Logan, the Maverick Paul. This fight is a majority draw.
Oh, it is a draw.
I'm here with the champion of the majority draw. The champion.
I want to get Paul to do that audio. Let's see what he's got to say about this.
Majority draw. Yo! I want to say thank you to everyone who supported me. You guys have been amazing.
KSI looking disappointed, but very accepting, thanking the sponsors.
I think there's only one way to do it. I think we got a rematch.
Yeah, he said he's ready for the rematch. They already have one scheduled though, so that's a little bit.
Logan, what you saying? You down for a rematch?
Good fight though. I'm down.
I think it's what the people want. Let's give him a motherfucking rematch.
Logan Paul is down for the rematch. Yeah, Logan Paul came out stronger and kind of faded late, whereas KSI kind of took over, which is what he predicted. He predicted a KO late, but he said that he's going to take him into the deep waters. So that's interesting. I'm down for the rematch. That was a great fight, way better than I thought it was going to be for two amateurs, YouTube stars. You know, people like to throw these terms around and get all up in arms about it. And they did their work, man. I mean, you can tell. It really shows. As somebody that trains combat sports and follows it religiously close. I'm impressed with their performance. Not as much the little brothers. That was kind of what I expected, but they put on a show, man. I'm excited about the rematch. I gotta head out. I got things to do today. I got work tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead, cut this stream short. But I had a blast going live with it. I hope other people get to enjoy it too. And deuces, Ghostface. Stay tuned for more to come. Yeah, Conor Khabib for sure. Stay classy.